Chris Tyler.
District 1, continue maintenance, Paul. Appreciate everything. Thank you.
District 2, I got some tree limbs that need to be trimmed overhead on the Spring Valley Road on the 96 side, about a quarter mile from the church. Everything else is good, appreciate it.
District 3, continue maintenance. Thanks for all the mowing. I think y'all putting some tiles in today. Talked to Kelly earlier, so I appreciate what you're doing. Continue maintenance.
District 4, same time, everything looks good, continue maintenance.
Same thing, District 5, looks good.
District 6, continue maintenance. Appreciate everything, Paul.
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, and every one of you got a copy of this report, what they done in your district, so you might look that over, and if somebody gives you a call about something, you might be able to answer something for them. Okay, and no questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Golden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, elected officials, Mary. Okay, Forrest, you have anything from Sheriff's Department? Okay, Scotty.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, we've been much awaiting on the election process. Sorry about that. On the election process, last Thursday, just to report to the court, the governor and the secretary of state got together and came up with a regulation. It was presented to the state board of elections in Frankfurt last Thursday at a meeting for about 2 hours, and they came to an agreement, passed it. We met with our county board of elections last Friday morning for about an hour and a half, and we all came to our agreement, which you see in front of you, for doing the election process for this year. I just need you guys' help with the foundation of it as I move forward now. Just kind of on this paper I'm going to cover. I'll probably need a few motions, but as I cover them, I'll indicate where I need a motion. This is just the foundation of the money side of it that we will need to do this election for this time. This is also the plan that I will have to present to the State Board of Elections, Secretary of State, and the Governor's Office. They have to approve this in the regulation for us to be able to move forward, even though we put it together. So I'll go ahead and get started. In this regulation for this election, we will have, I'm going to start with the early in-house voting, no excuse. We'll have 13 days of early voting before the election and 3 Saturdays for 4 hours. So starting October the 13th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., that's Monday through Friday, we will be at the Old Armory, which is the rec center behind the post office on Winter Street, 190 South Winter Street in Russellville. And we will be doing 3 Saturdays before the election from 9 a.m. to 1. The regulation did that so people that work during the week, they could come in on Saturdays and vote as they needed. We'll need 8 poll workers at that location at a rate of $12 per hour. I estimated the cost of that, it's 118 hours per man for the regulation. It's 936 hours for a total of $11,232. This voting center will have 25 stand-up privacy booths and 1 handicap turntable booth that can vote 4 people, for a total of 29 people that we can vote at one time in that facility. This facility will also be utilized on Election Day, November 3rd, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Same 8 poll workers that will be paid $200 for that day, for a total of $1,600 out of the fiscal court budget for elections. So I guess, and then I'll go down to the The new courthouse here at the old historic courthouse will also be utilized as a polling location on election day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will need 12 poll workers to do this process here, as you see indicated. This facility will have 21 voting stand-up booths with 1 handicap stand-up booth for a total of 25 voting capability at one time. We'll have 3 scanners, 1 handicap accessible machine, and we will pay those people $200 for a total of $2,400 for election day. And then we can add into this the counting committee, which is made up of 4 people. We did this in the primary, and I would request that this time. We'll call them in as needed. And of course, all these people will be made up of the right parity for party, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. We'll pay them $12 per hour, and that will be taken out of the election line item also. So if I could get a motion just for that portion of it, take care of that infrastructure.
So,
Second.
Now, the motion we just done, that's allowing it to come out of the election line item.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go.
And
Now we'll cover this other part on the
and
second.
what figures are we talking about for sure on that?
Judge, 11,232, 1,600, and 2,400. And that's an estimate, Judge.
Yeah,
I just tried to best go through it and estimate for the courts, for the business side of it. That's an estimate, but I think that's fairly close.
okay, 11,232, 1,600, and 2,400.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's giving people lots of opportunity to,
Sir.
that's giving people lots of opportunity to come and vote in person.
Yes, sir. Now I'm going to cover the mail and the
Yeah. Okay, we had a motion and a second. Is there any questions by anybody?
Yeah, I got a question. Of course, ain't nothing we can do about it, but how much more is this costing us or less than just a regular election? Because we can't go back to the regular election, I realize it. But is it gonna cost us more like this than it would have been when we had it one day?
yes, sir, probably would. In the fashion that we're having to do it. And just so the court will know, in the primary, we paid for the postage on the mail going out. On this election, the state is going to pay the mail going out and in. So we won't have that cost, which was about $10,000.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Okay, so on the mail portion, so what we'd like to see and what the state would like to see, there's a certain demographic of people that will need to vote by mail, whether that be elderly that are not able to get out of their home, or that's just what they want to do because of the illness. They can vote by mail. That it will be done by portal, just like it was in the primary. So the person will go on their website, vote KY. GoVoteKY.com is the website that you would go to and initiate that ballot. That would come to our office and we would process through that. That portal will be open. It opened yesterday and it will be open through October the 9th. It will close at midnight on October the 9th. And what that's trying to do is to give us time to get the ballots out to the processing committee and then allow the mail to get it to and from back to the office. You can also utilize the drop box at our office that's right in front of our front door at the clerk's office. You'll be able to drop your ballot off there if you request that by mail, so you'll have that option also. In the, and what I wanted to go over here on the processing committee, what we did in the primary, the judge and I have talked about this yesterday. What we did in the primary was the state gave us $7,280 to utilize in the processing committee. That was hiring 4 people to work daily to get these ballots out and get them checked back in for counting. In this election, the state is proposing to give us double that, which is going to be $14,560 to hire the people that's needed for this process. So what I figured is we'll start the processing committee on around September 21, and that will run all the way through November 3rd, Election Day, in the processing from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 7 hours a day, with an hour for lunch, and that comes to roughly 896 hours at $12 an hour, for a total of $10,752, which again, that state board is going to be funding that through the CARES grant. So there should be some extra money that we'll be able to turn over to the county to offset some of this stuff we're talking about, Robert Earl. And what I would ask the court in a motion is to allow me to utilize those funds in the same manner that I did in the primary. I would manage that fund, pay it out. I would be responsible for the audit, and I would also be responsible for the CFA report that would go to the Department of Local Government. In the judge and I talking, it would just make things run a lot smoother in the paperwork, in the audit, instead of splitting it up. If we were to turn it over to the county, they have to put it into the budget, which takes 2 readings, and then they would have to have a separate audit, which is going to cost a little more. So we just discussed that, and I called the auditor's office at mine and the judge's request, talked to Jim Royce, who is second in command with the auditor's office, and he agreed that would work under our way of doing business. So I would just ask that for a court form of motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
The motion might need to be just a little bit clearer. The motion is to allow Scotty to accept this CARES money.
Judge, could we use the same motion that we used in the last
We
meeting?
probably
last
could,
minutes?
yeah.
That would be, I would request that, and that'd just make it a lot clearer for everybody.
And that was a motion at the last meeting.
That covered that same thing. It'll just be this amount of money that will be.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, second by Tyler. Any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Guys, I want to thank y'all for your help in this
Appreciate it,
infrastructure
Scott.
here. This is a very complex process and plan that we're putting together. It's completely in the dark for all of us. So,
I know it's a great challenge for y'all.
I just asked everybody's patience out in the public. We're going to do our best to make it to where everybody can vote. That's our number one goal. We're going to see to that happens. And again, I appreciate y'all's help.
Thank you, Scotty.
I don't know how anybody could have a complaint about not being able to vote. When you go from voting one day to voting over 13 days, and mail-in ballots, how is anybody going to have an excuse that I didn't get to vote? I find that pretty difficult. You know, if you were able to vote during the old process, which was, you had 12 hours to vote, how can you complain you can't vote when you can mail in a vote and you got
Plus Saturday.
proposing 18 days to vote? Man, I don't give somebody darn. Hey, you can't vote. I hope you don't take any. I appreciate the state and all of y'all who work together to put a plan in, because I do know things are different. But man, if you can't vote in 19 days, something's wrong. You don't want to vote. You just want to whine.
That's right.
Thank you, Scotty.
Okay, we'll move on then to department heads. Paul, you got anything? I think you're the only one here today.
How's our trucks coming? The trucks we ordered and bought
Supposed to be last week of September.
last week of September, complete, ready to go.
Supposed to be 2 ready to
Okay. We're still using the old ones though, no problems?
We're making oil.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, treasurer report.
Good morning. In your folders, you should have a budget amendment that we need to have the first reading on. The ordinance is number 20220-02. This budget amendment is to amend in budgeted receipts into a federal grants fund that we have created for CARES money. It'll increase revenue code 074503 federal reimbursements CARES by $368,518. Revenue code 134510 in the solid waste fund, state grants by $3,998.50. And solid waste fund revenue code 134510, state grants by $4,000, which will in turn increase expenditure code in the solid waste fund of 1352123666A, 2021 waste hire grant by $4,000, in the solid waste fund 135217,446, Kentucky Pride Recycling Grant by $3,998.50, and Federal Grants Fund 0792009999 contingent appropriation by $368,518.00.
Move to acknowledge the bill transfer requested by amendment.
We need to approve it, Thomas.
Budget amendment.
Yeah.
Approve the budget transfer.
Yeah, this is an amendment to the budget.
I'll second him.
First, this will be the first reading. Okay, you've got a motion and a second. Okay, is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Today, we need to transfer $300,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the general fund.
So,
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And we need to transfer $125,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
In your folders, you should have a SEPA, an updated SEPA form that we need to have approved. We had to revise this because any donated items that will be federally funded, we had to assess a value to those and add those to this SEPA, which is actually, what SEPA stands for is the Schedule of Expenditures of Federal Awards, and we've turned this into DLG. So the modification to it is on page 2, and it is for $7,051 that we have received in donated PPE items.
So that's mask and thermometers or whatever. That's in it.
All this happened in the previous fiscal year, and we got a letter July the 29th telling us what we had to do. So, from my state auditor, if any of you want to see this letter, we had to treat it like it was cash money coming to the county from the federal government.
Did we get those money?
That's different. That's different. It's a bunch of money. Okay. That was turned in on FEMA. Okay. All right, any questions? We need a motion, I guess. Have we had the motion yet to approve the revised CFA report?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. Now a question. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And that's all I have, please.
What's I guess I should ask a while ago, the 300,000, we got a big bill coming in or something
On the general fund?
on the general fund?
It's just, typically, we have to do some transfers to the general fund, but that will cover our payroll and our utilities and any bills. Hopefully, next time, I won't have to come and ask for a transfer on the general fund.
Okay.
So we thought we'd transfer that, and of course, tax collections, they have notified us that that's not gonna happen as it typically does. So we're probably going to see more transfer into the general fund than we normally do. The last I heard was, property tax collections may not begin until November 1st, and that may have been pushed back further, I'm not sure. So we're probably gonna see more money being transferred into the general fund due to the fact that we're not getting that property tax collection money.
Okay, that's pretty normal process this time of year, Barry. The only thing different, we do usually receive the money on property tax and real property, personal property, a little bit earlier. They were first originally talking about the first collections would be in December. Now they're kind of shooting for maybe November. And then, if that's the case, we won't get our first check till after the 1st of December. Well, actually, it's about the 5th, then.
I'm sorry.
Normally, it's about the 5th of the next month when you collect it, when the check's turned over.
Normally they collect, and we do get that check in November, yeah. It's always by the 10th of the month, because they have to turn it over by then. But we have budgeted to transfer into the general fund, 1.7 million, so hopefully we will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Judges' announcements. Okay, August 27th at 1 p.m., Robert Earl. They're going to have groundbreaking ceremony at the Auburn wastewater treatment plant that they've been working on for 6 or 7 years, but that's going to be at 1 o'clock at the site. There's information in your court folders on the series of live 1-hour virtual trainings courses on August 28th. You must pre-register and must have a camera and be visible for the entire training. Okay, the Kentucky County Judges and Masters Joint Conference scheduled for September the 29th through October 1st has been canceled for in-person, but they are planning to hold a virtual conference that week. Details will be sent out soon, hopefully. CAECO conference scheduled for October 28th through October 30th has been canceled and will be done all virtual. So we'll be getting information on that. There was a line item missing from library budget when it was presented in June, which did not affect the totals. This page, there should be a page in your folder that includes that line item. The Open Records and Open Meeting Act was amended in 2020, so we are required to distribute the 2020 guide to the Kentucky Open Records and the Open Meeting Acts, and we will need you to return those to proof of receipt as soon as possible. You should have that in your folder this morning. Right, Janice?
Yes, and I need those back to keep in the office.
Any other
It's like a
announcements
one-page
somebody
thing.
knows about
On your left side.
that I missed?
Yep, that's it.
This here?
Okay, we'll move on then to business this morning. I don't guess anybody got any reports they want to give. Okay, we'll move into business this morning. First item of business is to acknowledge receipt of the audit of agreed upon procedures engagement with the Logan County Clerk for the period of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And this is the first time we've had a new audit like this in it, Scotty.
sir. I'd just like to make the court aware that this is a good thing, and that only clerks and sheriffs are offered this type of audit. Number one, it costs the county about 45% less money to do the audit, which is a good thing. And also, it's they still cover what they need to cover, but they just do a more overview. It comes from good audits. You have to qualify for it. In other words, you can't have write-ups from year to year to qualify for it. So we're very proud to get that AUP, and I'm very proud of my staff, my bookkeepers, and the bookkeeper, Gabby Hayes, that takes care of the books. It reflects on him, not me necessarily. So I want to give him all that credit. And we didn't have any write-ups in that AUP, so that's always good.
That's a good thing. Thank you, Scotty.
Okay, we need knowledge receipt of this.
So moved. Second.
Okay, got a motion and second. So any questions? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the receipt of the audit of Logan County Sheriff for year ending December 31st, 2019.
Motion to acknowledge the sheriff's office audit report, 2019.
Second.
Okay, that's the knowledge receipt of it. Okay. Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper, Kyle, Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the sheriff's 2019 tax settlement pending the audit, and we got the audit back after we put it on there. So that'll be both of these funds.
Make a motion to acknowledge the sheriff's 2019 tax settlement.
Tax settlement. Okay, have a second.
Second.
Okay, any questions? I'm sure Forrest will be glad to answer them for you. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the tax rate set by the Logan County Health Taxing District. It's at, the new tax rate will be 2.5, and I'm chairman of the health department. So I get the opportunity to present this to y'all today. And y'all can see where Trish Campbell made the motion, Darla Barrow seconded it. The people on the board signed off that they was there. And this is 2.5 on personal property and real estate. It did go up 0.25. And it's due, most of it's due to where state's pushing things down to like state retirement. To be able to pay that state retirement. And they're pushing it down to county level. So we need to acknowledge that.
I make a motion that we acknowledge the tax rate for the Logan County Health Board.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is the county setting the 2020 ad volume tax rates. And y'all should have a copy like this in front of you. You might, Janice, did you get all those revised ones
Yes,
sent
yes,
out?
they got the new one.
If you got an old one in there, we need to just do away with that because I didn't have my calculator setting.
You got the, yeah, throw away the old
Yeah.
one, that's the good one.
That's it.
Okay, what they sent out for 4% increase is, we're at 13.0 now, or 0.130 right now. And what they recommended for 4% increase is 0.137, and then the compensating rate 132. At the real property in Logan County, this year was up $63,106,000. 63,106,987. And assessment, last year, you can see it was $1,266,000. This year it's $1,330,000 assessment. And that's one reason for, this is the lowest compensating rate I've seen since I've been on court. The last year's property tax, if we was bringing in 100%, I think I've got that figure on here. Well, maybe I don't. But if we leave it at 13.130, if you get 100% collected, that's without the discounts that you get, and if you collected 100% of it, it'd be $1,729,000. At 13.2, it'd be $1,755,000. And if this year's rate over last year's rate, if kept it the same, would be an increase of $82,040 if you collect it all, but you're not going to get it all. So we need to make a motion on each line item. We need to set the real property, then look at the personal property.
What did we do last year?
Kept it the same. Kept it the
Last
same.
11 years, we hadn't done anything. We've left it where it was at. Now, it's going to be a little bit different on the personal. We have fluctuated the personal property, according to whether the personal property was up or down. But the last, I think it's 11 years, ain't it, Tom? Be 12. It's be 12 years. Yeah.
I've never done anything kept it the same. One discussion, I'd like to make sure we think about as we move forward, we have given, significant pay raises in those just in the last 2 years, we've been significant. The last one to the tune of, $400,000+. I'm all for keeping taxes down, don't get me wrong, I think we do a real good job of that. But, at some point, I think we need to at least keep it the same as the previous year, which is the compensating rate, which is what all the taxing districts have done for the past 10 or 12 years. I'm happy to do either or, but keep in mind that we have given significant pay raises. And we have the burden of the retirement on our shoulders as well. Keeps on inching up. I know that doesn't make the headlines much anymore with everything going on.
Even at compensating on the personal property, it only brings it up, on this year's compensating, brings it up like $5,000 on additional revenue. Like you said, that compensating rate's real low.
Yeah, it's not crazy, but $35,000.
Yeah.
The difference spread across all the property in Logan County. That means to an individual, but,
I think we're super,
Well, actually, it's 20, yeah, about 30,000 then.
we're super blessed to have the strongest real estate market we have. We gained $63 million in a year. That is strong.
Do what now?
I said, we're just blessed to have the real estate market we've got. We've gained $63 million in assessments over the past year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on, but any place they can find a lot, they're building a house right now. Around Logan County, and that's probably the largest increase we've had since I've been judge. And that's reflected in that recommended compensating rate of just
.002.
1.132.
Yeah.
Judge, I'll make a motion to take the compensating rate from 0.132 on the real property.
Okay, we got a motion to take the compensating rate. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
You second it. Okay, and that's 0.132. 0.132. And we got a motion and a second. Any question?
Is that the same as last year,
No,
or the increase?
that's an increase, so it's an increase from last year.
.002 increase.
The rate is it the same or less? How do you do the compensating rate?
Compensating.
What was the rate last year?
Rate last year was .130.
1.30. So 0.002 increase.
Yeah.
Or 100.
Mm-hmm. Now just let the court know that will affect the personal property too.
What do you mean?
Well, the way it figured out was .187 on, with that tax rate.
But we're already taking an $82,040 increase over last year if we leave it the same,
If you
correct?
collect it all, Barry.
If we collect it, but we're taking an increase.
Okay, if there any more questions? We had a motion and a second. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Hey, you can pass if you want to wait. You can come back to you.
Yeah, you can pass and come back to you if you want to.
No.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
I'm gonna vote no.
Harper,
No.
Kyle,
No.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
I'm gonna vote yes, but the motion failed. Okay. What's the pleasure of the group then?
I make a motion that we leave it set as last year's rate of, if I'm reading this right, .130 for real property.
Yeah. Okay, we got a motion to leave the real estate where it was at last year and the last 12 years at .130, which if fully collected, it bring in about $80,000 more dollars this year because the assessment's up, $63,106,000. Any question?
And I realize that we are spending extra money for raises and different things, but we have a great growth in our assessment here, and we want people to do good and keep building and expanding. That was a reason for me going this direction.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the real estate rate is set at .130 for this coming year. Okay, if you look down at personal property, the 1.30, where we left it the same, calculated out 0.185, and this is where it fluctuates. There was $9 million decrease in assessment this year, and last year it was .170. That brought in $462,707. If you leave it at that particular rate, you're going to take in less, $48,668 less than you did last year. And that's one that we fluctuated with through the years according to the assessment. And I would strongly recommend we take the calculations of how .130 calculated out this year to 0.185.
That would still put us about $12,000 less.
That's still $12,000 less than you took in last year. $12,007 less.
Say that again. Say that again. You'd recommend doing what?
The calculation on that .130 is right there next to it is .185, okay? But we're down $9 million in personal property, and that would still, even if you took it to the .185, you're gonna take in $12,007 less if it's 100% collected.
I see what you're saying. Last year it was .170.
If you'd have took in, if we'd have passed the .132 compensating rate, you'd have still been down $7,370 over last year.
I got you.
And if we leave it where it's at, you're gonna lose $50,000.
it's at, it's gonna be 0.185, right?
Leave where it's at, it's .170. Huh?
No, it's same as previous year, be .170,
Yeah.
I think, right there.
Last year was .170.
So what's the,
But to keep the income the same, I think is what it's saying, is you had to go to .185 to keep it.
Well, last year we lowered it, because of the increase in assessments last year. We lowered this particular one from, I think about 19.190 down to 170.
well, where it says 0.130, and then beside it's 0.185, and that's a $12,000 loss, that's not compensating, right?
No, but that's where you calculate it out. I can show you the calculation papers. But what affects that calculation, Jason, is the assessment, the assessed value. And it came down, and that's what affects that calculation.
.170 is not the range you suggest, Ray suggested is
.185.
185, which is bringing $450,000, which is $12,400 less. Again, generally speaking, that would be the same. The compensating rate, it just takes you to 455, which is still $7,000 less than what
I guess really the only thing we're arguing about right now, Jason, and since we took the